Yo, what's good with everybody? Back in Steve's basement. Me, I'm Samoan Rob. That's Steve Assault. How's everybody doing out there?
I don't know how they're doing.
He doesn't know.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I wonder if you didn't say that you were Samoan Rob. I wonder if people would be confused and think that I was Samoan Rob.
It's possible because a lot of people don't know what Samoan is. They have not a clue.
Yeah.
So when they're like, "What is Samoan Rob?" I go, "Oh, I'm Samoan." It's like like an islander. And they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know what that was." They think I thought it was something else. So.
They thought you were like a cookie, like a Samoa.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm not even kidding. I
They
think
like
they
you
have
like-
no clue. Like I'm from Samoa Town. It's
They-
like Youngstown or something.
He eats a lot of Girl Scout cookies, the Samoas.
I actually don't eat a lot of Samoas. I eat Thin Mints. But Thin Mints are not the best. And Girl Scout cookies, if you don't know this, they don't give you as many as they used to.
No.
So you buy a box, and it's like the equivalent of, a snack.
And also, you could just buy the same cookies for less at like Dollar General.
Yes.
So in case you didn't know that,
Yes.
fuck the Girl Scouts. Don't buy the... No, I'm kidding.
I don't know what the... Here's the thing. I'll be honest. I don't know what the Girl Scout cookies go for. I mean, you buy them, is it donated to something? I have no idea.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be their fundraiser that
Is
they
it
use.
just for the Girl Scouts?
Well, I really don't know. I don't know how they're... So, okay, so for Boy Scouts sell popcorn.
Yes.
They sell like tins of popcorn. And
Who the fuck wants tins of popcorn?
that's what they sell.
They have a bad fucking idea to make money.
And what they would do is they would use that money. They'd have a goal, and they'd use that money for the things that they wanted to do throughout the year. Like they do like camping things and other shit like that. So
How much does it cost to go camping?
they have a big facility. There's like a big facility that they have to
Shits.
maintain.
Boy
and upkeep.
Scouts should sell machetes. They should sell bacon, of course. I don't know.
They should
fucking
sell porno mags.
pipe bombs, shit that you'd make.
Yeah, they could make. The Boy Scouts could make.
Tomahawks.
Yeah, they could make weapons.
That might not be politically correct, but tomahawks are sick. Hatchets. There you go.
Uh,
Native American hatchet.
Yeah, things like that. But
Killing
yeah,
utensils for the woods. Swiss Army knives. American Army knives. What's that?
The Boy Scouts is very. They got to get with the times. But they should be
Dude,
teaching.
tin of popcorn. Are you buying that?
No.
Tin of popcorn.
What they should be teaching these
God.
young men is keys to survival in the wilderness when you're going to be killed by a
Predator?
serial killer or monster of
Yeah.
some sort. That's
Bear?
what they. Yeah,
Jaguar.
yeah. They should. This is what they should be preparing our young men for. This shit where they're like, you
Yeah.
know, this is how you build a fire. This is how you fucking eat a pine cone.
Yeah, like a fire starter. That makes sense for something you buy. Here's the thing: how do you even become a Boy Scout if you're a kid now? Like your son, he's of age to be a Boy Scout. Where would he? Is that? I don't know. Is
Well,
that a thing?
actually, his mother tried to force me to have him be in the Boy Scouts at one
Oh,
point.
there you go.
And that's how I know so much about this. And,
Yeah, I was gonna say you know more. Than
it was
I
a
do.
complete fucking waste of time. And the people that were involved with it were total fucking weirdos. And the kids were all dickheads that treated my son like an asshole. And it was like, to me, it just felt like being in a weird church youth group.
They're not
and-
the Friend Scouts or the Boy Scouts.
I was
man.
like-
boys will be boys.
I was like, no fucking way with this fucking shit, man. This is a waste of my fucking time and my son's time. And
What a
I
bunch
don't
of
know.
pricks.
It just is not some shit. If you're like just some normal ass fucking weirdo, I mean, it's probably for you. But for me and my son, it just is not for me and my
I
son.
didn't remember that.
It was short lived.
It was that bad.
It sucked, dude.
Hey, I
was like-
trust you, man. I trust you.
If I saw like value in it for my son, I'd be like, yeah, he could do this. I was like, this is fucking bull fucking shit, man. Like the people that ran it were dickheads and their kids were dickheads and like their kids were like assholes to my son. I was like, fuck
Why
these
would you have your fucking kid be a part of that thing? That doesn't make any sense.
I know, because it's one of those things that you think like you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I remember like the troop that my son was in, it was run by like this guy and this woman, and then like they started doing it and then they decided to get divorced. So then like they would like come to the fucking things or the other one wouldn't come. Dude, it was very
Dude, that is
strange.
so weird.
It got very, very strange.
See, Boy Scouts, my son, he just played sports. So I think it was like, I don't even remember that getting brought up at his school, the fucking Boy Scouts.
I have a great story from this. Okay, I have a story of the nastiest fart that I ever smelled in my entire life. Okay, so my son was at this shit. It was at like a weird school, right? And I was sitting in the back of the room, and there's other dads that were there. This motherfucker farted. And it was the most rancid.
Wait, in the Boy Scout
but
meeting?
it didn't make a noise. It was silent. But dude, when the smell hits you, you wanted to die. I smelled it and I had to hold back the puke. It was so fucking bad. It was so awful that I had to like get up I got instant like I got up and like I got up very quickly. I had to move. I had to fucking move from the area, and I had to move so quickly. And then the smell got to the front where the lady was, and she smelled it, and she thought I did it.
Oh, you gotta be like, hell no.
But I couldn't say anything because like it was in the middle of this shit. But forever, I know that this lady thinks that I fucking did this, and I didn't do it. And it was for real. I've never smelled a smell come from a human being that was as bad.
He was dying.
Like I could imagine that if you found a rotten corpse in the woods, that this is what it would have smelled like.
That guy was dead. He just didn't even know it yet.
I mean, it was the worst fucking fart in the history of fucking. It was
just
awful.
That's a classic thing at like school events or whatever. It's just guys that just don't care. They're just like really.
Oh man.
They think that they're normal people, but really they're like nasty fucking
man.
raw ass motherfuckers who do shit like that. That is rough.
I for real thought I was gonna vomit. It was like
Here's
I'll never forget that smell in my life.
The lady who thinks it's you, she might be like, "Hey, that guy was a true champion," because
no,
I've never fucking smelled something that terrible. You know?
She gave me a real disgusted look. She looked at me like,
"Oh, is it because you moved?" It's probably.
She thought it was me. I think she thought I like shit my pants because I got up and like so quickly and like ran away.
No, that's just like a dude. Like you're in the bathroom and just some dude just farting and like making. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man?
This is worse than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, that takes you back. Oh, the Boy Scouts.
Horrible.
We didn't even know we were gonna. We don't. If you didn't know this, we just talk about random stuff. We don't have any schedule of stuff we're gonna talk about.
We don't. Rob comes to my house and we just set this up and we just start talking.
And it's in the morning, and I'm not a tired. I get up really way too early. If anyone knows, I don't work till noon, but I get up way early. So even now, I'm like drowsy. I need some caffeine, but
yeah, bet you thought that we had like a team of writers that we met
Oh,
with.
yeah.
That we had a meeting and they gave us. No, we
they
don't have
spend
that.
weeks.
No, we don't have that. We don't have a team of writers. We don't have rehearsals. This is just off the cuff.
That was like our old joke where we said we made millions off every episode. We actually don't.
We make hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, not millions yet. Soon. There's 300 people almost to listen to this, so that's each person pays at least $10,000 to listen to this. So
it's getting more every episode. So thanks to everybody who listens.
Yeah, we're trying to get over 1,000. We used to get honestly a couple thousand every episode when we did on Spotify or whatever. So I could live with that.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you have other friends who are easily entertained and amused, you should tell them.
Don't.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe have them on here.
Just tell them to check it out, share it with them, or.
And questions. If you have any more people, hit me up with some questions. Most of them were pretty stupid, so sorry, I'm not going to even entertain the idea of answering them on here. It's a waste of my time and your time, so forget that.
Also, I got some stuff so we could have guests, so we could have more than 2 people again, and we have some very awesome guests lined up for you.
Who's the guest we might have?
These are blockbuster guests.
Nicolas Cage will probably be on in Steve's basement.
We have
okay, no Nicolas Cage.
Billie Eilish.
That'd be good.
She's a big crowd deterrent fan.
I don't know. I know the one song.
I don't know.
That's kid stuff. I don't know.
It is. No, really, we got Pants Pantsley. That's a blockbuster.
Yeah, Pants is supposed to do it.
We have our friend AJ who runs Preserving. What's just called Preserving now in Pittsburgh. We're probably going to do a live show from there.
We have our friend Josh Buck, who we made fun of before. He's going to be on it.
He'll be here.
He freed cats from a cat sanctuary in town recently and was arrested. And all the cats froze to death. So I don't know if it was the best idea to do, but vegan power, Josh Buck.
Yeah, we have some other guests.
When he gets out of the clink, he will be on.
That we'll have here, and I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to handle it. I don't know if they'll be able to deal with our bullshit. I guess we'll find out.
I have no idea. And of course, at some point, Dave, Mike, Frisco, Trevor. It's 20 degrees out, so it's like nobody's driving down here doing anything. So
here's the thing: if you're a guest on this show and you suck, we're going to tell you to get the fuck out in the middle of the show.
Yes,
we're like, you suck. You're dragging us down. Get the fuck off the couch. Get out of here.
If we ever had just random guests or people we didn't know, that for sure could happen. Because I'm not putting up with shit, especially because we're not making any money.
This is high level entertainment here.
Yeah, this is and it's free.
Yeah.
Taking time out of our days. We both have to go to work after this shit.
Now, if you're going to be bringing bullshit, we ain't going to put up with that. We are not about that. We are not going to give that sort of product to you.
No.
So.
Let's see. What do we got? So, first Valentine's Day is this week. Hope everyone has a great Valentine's Day. Spend a lot of money. Go to Red Lobster. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you do on Valentine's?
Remember we had our friend's band. It was called Nothing Personal. And they had the song called Cook, Clean, and Shut the Fuck Up, which was a joke.
Yes.
And there was the line in the song, it was, Valentine's Day is coming soon. Gonna buy my girl a mop and broom.
Yes, I do remember that. I do remember that. Yeah, they would always make wild jokes. That band was too anti-PC kind of band, so back then no one cared. It was just, they kind of got it was a joke. Now, there's no way that's going to happen.
No, they were like a comedy core
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of
a
band.
comedy band. But, I mean, some people get jokes nowadays. Some people don't. We might as well talk about that, the cancel culture thing. So this week, Gina Carano, who's an ex-Strikeforce champion, who I was a fan of MMA-wise, got fired from The Mandalorian, which that show's not that great. I tried to watch it. It was kind of fucking boring. Because she basically just says weird-ass Holocaust shit and QAnon shit, and people just wanted to fire her. So Lucasfilm's like, yeah, you're out of here. And, of course, people from the right come out, and they're like, oh, hey, that's wrong. Cancel culture's wrong. Even though they did it to tons of people, too. Really, it's both sides cancel people, and then they complain about the other side canceling someone. It's very weird. But, Steve, what do you think about cancel culture stuff? Or I don't know if you saw the Gina Carano stuff.
I don't know who this person is.
So on The
I've never-
Mandalorian, she's just like a lady who's... I mean, The Mandalorian, I don't really... I watched a couple episodes at work, so it's like I'm going in and out of work watching them. You know, it's that fucking Star Wars shit. It's cool, but I mean, that's a ridiculously famous and big show
Yeah.
as far as that platform. So this lady, I mean, she has it made, and she still can't shut the fuck up. And I think one of the problems in the United States, especially now, is if me and Steve work at a certain job, we can't just say whatever the fuck we want.
No.
And people talk about freedom of speech. It's like, if you're a weird Nazi guy, but you hide it, you could still work a normal job.
Yeah.
No one would know the difference. But if you go on saying, hey, the Holocaust isn't real and all this kind of shit, it's like people are like, hey, man, you can't fucking work here because you're fucking with our money, you're fucking with our business. And at the end of the day, it's money.
Yes.
So Disney's like, hey,
Yeah.
dumb fuck, shut the fuck up on your Instagram. You're costing us a bunch of money. The majority of people in the United States are actually more to the left. So these people are like, hey, that shit's fucked up. I just want to watch this stupid ass show about fucking, I don't know, bounty hunters and whatever.
In
bullshit.
Yodas.
Star Wars I like, but a lot of that shit is just fucking corny as fuck. Good for you Star Wars people out there, but shit, I mean, come on. Anyways, it's fucking with Disney's money. These people need to make $1 trillion this year, and they're not going to let fucking Gina Carano fuck that up for them. So, she got the axe.
Well, I heard some discussions about this at work recently. Not this particular event, but other events where there was a guy who was bitching about how he feels that Facebook is no longer a private entity, and it is a public entity, and as such, you should be able to say and do whatever you want on it. But the guy's living in fantasy land because it is a private company. And
It's
as far
actually
as-
not free for the company
No.
that actually does Facebook.
No.
It actually costs them money to do that.
So, I mean, I don't know what these people want. I mean, I feel like these people just want some sort of public forum that exists, and you could just say whatever wild-ass shit you want. Like, you could just post, like, shit about
Yeah.
Hail Hitler, or you could just post anything that you want in this, and there's no one that could stop you. And also, everyone is forced to see it in...
Well, that's the thing, too. So they want everyone to be forced to see it. They
Yeah.
also don't get that this isn't their platform, that
No.
someone's paying for this.
Yes.
That's why they have to have ads and that kind of shit.
So
And, dude, I don't know. It gets real confusing with the free speech thing.
Well, here's the thing. You have free speech. You can say whatever you want at all times, anytime.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people act like they don't have free speech. It's like, you go outside and do whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
But
Call
you're not
someone
free.
on the phone.
You're not free from the consequences. It's like you said at the job, man. It's your job. I gave this example to one of the guys. I was like, hey, listen, man. What if I called this guy's wife who works here? What if I walked up to her and said, hey, sugar tits, meet me in the bathroom in 5 minutes? What do you think would happen to me? I could say that, but what do you think would happen?
course.
What would be the result of me saying that?
It's just conduct. You got to, it's just, what do you want?
I would be fired for sure if I said that to this woman. I would, by the way, I would never say something like this. But if I were to, I would for sure be fired. And I mean, what would I say? Well, I could say whatever I want. I mean, I could. And if I said it, I did.
There's
However,
consequences,
there's consequences
in the
for
business
things.
world for
Yeah.
sure.
There's consequences in this world for the things that you say and do. In the street, you might say something to someone, they might punch you in the fucking face. I mean, that's a consequence of the things that of your words and your actions. That's just how life and society goes. People really crave, people want so badly. People want this world where they do not have consequences for their negative actions.
For sure.
That's what people crave more than anything. That's what people right now, a lot of these people are really fighting tooth and nail to have this. They really are pushing for this. They really want this. And I don't really want to live in a society where there is no consequence for people's actions. I'm telling you, it'd be a really shitty society.
Well, it's just people who have no common sense. They don't have any common sense. They just think I do and whatever I want. I say whatever I want. And it's not even young people. There's always this blame on, it's young people.
No.
It's like, no, there's 56-year-old dudes that say insane shit all the time that should just get beaten.
Yes.
Because, and like I said, this, especially with the Disney stuff, it's just money. Like, if Gina Carano was saying stuff that people agreed with, the majority of the people who watch that, then they would keep her on the show.
Yeah.
She says the opposite, and it's upsetting the people who watch the show, so they're going to fire her. It's not that hard. Look at Colin Kaepernick. They always talk about, the right is always saying that the left cancels everyone. It's like, that guy don't play in the fucking NFL. He got other jobs through the stuff he did, but the job that he had, he has never gotten back because of what he did.
Yeah.
Which is a thing, too, if you didn't see, what's his name? Mark Cuban from the Mavericks said he didn't want to play the national anthem. And then he's like, I'm just not going to play it in front of the games. And then the NBA is like, no, you have to play it. Here's my thing with that real quick before I forget. What does the national anthem have to do with any sports thing? I have no clue. I've said this for years. I have no clue. People are like, you don't love this country? I'm like, first of all, love this. What are you talking about? I pay fucking taxes for shit I don't give a fuck about. That's how much more I love this country than most people. Most people benefit from their tax money. I don't. I don't want to pay for anything. Don't want to pay for cops. Don't want to pay for the military. Pretty much nothing. You know what I mean? I'm fine with just being on my own and whatever happens, happens. But for that, it's like why do you have to sit through the national anthem for the NFL? Does that make any sense for the NBA?
I give not one fuck about the national anthem.
But I'm serious. Like, I don't know what that has to do with sports. You're playing a sport, so I have to listen. What does that have to do with America? Like, okay, fuck yeah, national anthem. What? Then people are like, what about the troops? I'm like, the troops, it's a football game.
No.
Fuck are you talking about the troops? Are they fucking coming out on the field? Fucking shoot. I don't know. I have any clue how any of this stuff fits together.
I mean, every time somebody in the NBA makes a dunk, for the troops.
What the fuck?
A troop sheds a tear. He's like, man, he goes, my buddies that died. He's like, this is what it was all about.
It was about this guy playing basketball.
It was about a guy getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball for a team that's owned by a trillionaire, and this is what America is about.
That's the thing. It makes no sense.
He's
and that's what I'm talking about, cancel stuff, because like I said, a Kaepernick, he has never been allowed to play in the NFL since then. He was totally canceled out of it, and here's why. It was money. Even people agreed with him. They're like, hey, man, I agree, but this is costing me money. Sorry, we got to get rid of you. And people canceled him to the right. But for some reason, Gina Carano, because she says insane, the stuff she says, it doesn't even make sense. It's like literally like a fucking nut job person would say. She gets fired, and people are like, see, that's these lefties. They're Nazis. And I'm like, I don't agree with a lot of that shit too, but that makes sense. It's just money.
Our society is going nowhere. It's because of this sort of stuff. People just are preoccupied with kind of silly things, kind of things that that are no-brainer things that people really just
there you go.
Much time.
No-brainer, right?
Spend too much time worrying about this shit, man.
Like,
I'm
you're
serious.
fucking all my money up. I got to get rid of you. Oh my God,
Yeah.
you cancel culture. It's like, maybe they're just trying to make a profit this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Meanwhile, there's just people that are billionaires who pay people $8 an hour to work, and as a result, now listen, this is some good stuff. Well, it's not good stuff, but I read a report lately that especially in our area, the Rust Belt, there's a lot of areas of the country where the death rates for people aged 18 to 36 has really skyrocketed, and it's due to drugs, suicide, things like that. It's really dropping the death, the age, the life expectancy in America, because this group of people is dying at a really high rate. Now, if you understand how society and economics work, usually, as far as money and income goes, that's where the most suicide, crime, drug abuse, all that sort of stuff exists. That's where all that stuff is. It's a direct correlation between poverty and those things. So if you want to be pissed about something in society, if you want to cancel some people and some things, you should think about people that are really wealthy people who do not pay people fucking any money to work where they fucking do. And they come in, they suck all the money from your community, they keep it all for themselves, they give nothing back but fucking low wages and poverty, so you have all these bullshit conditions in your fucking community. This is the stuff you should be upset about. This is the stuff you should be concerned about, not the fucking national anthem.
Which, like I said, has nothing to do with sports. Even if you're a super patriot guy.
No.
You have to sing the national anthem before you play a football game? or a
No.
basketball game. Even that, it's like people are like, oh, that's un-American. I'm like, what the fuck kind of weird brainwash bullshit were you born with?
They're in the
Worship
shit where
America? Like, get the fuck out of
They
here,
think
man.
that if you don't do that, like for real, like the troops from some other country are just marching in. There's
you
marching in. And
disrespected.
they're gonna bust down your door and fucking rape your daughter or
Yeah,
some shit.
You
Like,
disrespected the troops because you didn't play the national anthem while I'm standing in line to get a giant beer and French fries. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Weird patriotism shit will make no sense to me. If you're a person who pays taxes, you're a patriot.
yes,
Because most of those taxes are going to people that you fucking hate, and you still pay them. So this idea of, oh my God, I got to worship the flag. Like, what the fuck are you flags made in fucking China? Like, get the fuck out of here with this trash.
as you're saying this, today I'm wearing the Desert Storm, These Colors Don't Run shirt. This was not planned, by the way.
It's a fitting. Well, Steve wears a lot of those kind of shirts.
I love Desert Storm shirts.
Yes.
Desert Storm shirts are some of my favorites. Here's why. It's because, first off, some of the prints are awesome with, like, the eagle and shit.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
But second, it's just a total flim-flam. Because they're like, yeah, support Desert Storm, support these troops. Buy this shirt. How is this shirt supporting the troops? Most of these shirts were bought from, like, a guy at a fucking flea market.
It's just a scam.
They're probably printed in China and sent here at the time back in 1991, and just some hillbilly was selling them at a flea market mostly. I mean,
It's the Trump thing.
How is that really helping the troops? I love that. I love that sham. I love that ridiculousness of it.
Yeah.
That's why Desert Storm shit is some of my favorite vintage shit ever. I love it.
That's the modern day MAGA stuff. It's like dude selling at the flea market. It's like the shit straight from China.
It is.
He's not giving any money to Trump. He's just taking it for himself.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. I would give it to Trump. He never cared. He was like, whatever. I'm surprised he didn't sue all those people at flea markets and shit. Because, like, they're not giving. He didn't make that shit.
No, he did not.
Maybe he did. There's still people in this neighborhood that have a bunch of Trump. Trump is my president. It's the guy down the street.
Yeah.
He has back the blue flag and Trump is my president flag.
Yeah.
He wants you to know.
He has the Trump. There's the guy down the street who has the Trump is my president flag on the flagpole, and above it is an American flag that's upside down.
Yeah, that's right. He's a patriot.
Yes.
If you don't play the national anthem before a soccer game, before a beer pong
gotta
challenge
kneel-
on ESPN,
You got to
8,
kneel for the flag.
you better.
But
No,
you know,
that's it. It's stand for my flag, kneel for my
kneel
cross.
for the cross.
That shit is so like weird guns and God shit. There's no guns mentioned in the Bible. You fucking hillbilly morons.
Oh, speaking of
Sorry,
guns.
Jesus didn't have an AR-15.
Speaking of guns,
Which, if he did, it would have been sweet though.
it would be sweet.
Yeah.
There's a guy in my work who, for real, was in the Marines. He's like a cool guy. He's a nice guy. I like him. I talk to him. He's interesting to talk to. But then there's these other dudes at my work that are straight fantasy dudes that are like fucking
Patriots.
These are not even. I'm going to tell you about how pathetic these people are. These people are not even like the type of guy that would have a gun and dress up in military gear and run around.
They're not even that on
They're-
that level.
Here's what they are. They're Call of Duty cosplay guys
Yes.
that think because they play Call of Duty a lot that they are the same as a guy who for real served in the military.
I guess I'd be the same. That's one of my favorite games, Call of Duty.
These guys think that they have like this knowledge of weaponry and war and fucking I swear to God. And these motherfuckers talk to this guy and I'm like listening to their conversation and I'm like, these people really believe that like they have like lived a life and experienced the things that this guy has experienced because they play a fucking video game.
I mean, it goes back to what we're talking about all the time. It's like people like us, we're just who we are. We talk about the life we live through our eyes. That's it. I'm not trying to tell someone. I'm not trying to talk about anyone's else because I don't live that life. I'm giving my opinions from my life experiences. There you go. Take it or leave it. Like what he's saying right there. That's insanity.
It's
That's
insane. But you know what? To me,
there's people who are fucking insane.
To me, that's a great symptom of our country right now. There's a lot of
Insanity.
people who have this fucking delusion that they understand and know things and that they know more than someone else who's for real done things or studied things or learned about
crazy.
things. They think that they fucking know better. And they think that they're the same as these people, but they fucking are. They're living in a fucking another fucking realm of fucking ridiculousness.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense. Now, I like to talk to this guy. I ask him about the military. The military is not for me, but I like to hear his opinions on things. I like to hear about his experiences with things, and he tells it like it is. He's not like the type of guy who's like, yeah, it's the greatest thing in the world. But
no, I train one of my good friends. A lot of my training partners are Marines, ex-Marines, ex-military. A lot of my family is military, and most of them say the same thing. It's just not for everybody. and that's it. There's
Yeah.
stuff they like, there's stuff they hate.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
mean-
I definitely don't think like one of my main training partners is he was a Marine, now he's in the Air Force, and I don't ever think that I'm like him because I play Call of Duty. But when I see him next, I
Well-
will say, hey, I did play Call of Duty, most of them, and beat them, so am I better than you?
You got to be
'Cause
like,
I
hey,
know
man,
he hasn't beaten
how
them.
many kills you got in real life? Listen, I got like 20 times more kills in Call of Duty.
What I do say to him all the time, I go, dude, what happened to your boys? This is anyone in the military. I'm like, what happened to your boys? And they're like, what do you mean? I go, dude, Capitol Riot, man. Where the fuck were you? They just took it over. They get real tired of that joke. But when I see him next, I'm like, dude, what happened to that team, man? I thought you were going to fucking protect the Capitol. You let us down. The Republicans are going to let everyone down because there's no way they're going to vote guilty on this impeachment.
No,
So it's just like a joke, a
Yeah.
trial.
it is.
But what can you do?
Nothing.
I mean, Trump's out of office. And
Yeah.
the Republicans want him to run in 2024, which will be amazing.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Because if they can't bar him now, he's going to run.
If he's still alive.
Yeah. Well, the new report, not to get into Trump world, because that shit's boring now. They said he literally was going to be on a ventilator for the
Yeah.
fucking COVID stuff. He was dying.
Yeah.
That's why they had to rush him and fly him somewhere because
And
he was dying.
The only reason that he didn't is because they gave him those like real crazy expensive drugs that not everybody has access to.
Same with Giuliani.
Yeah, the dudes with it for real probably died.
Well,
but
they literally do it's like a blood transfusion through your whole body. You'll sit there for hours and they transfuse
Yeah.
all that stuff through your whole body, which they don't do. The normal stuff is they give you a shot in the arm, you go home.
yeah, the guys and they lied to everybody about it. Like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But for real, the dudes like almost died.
They were like, we might have to put this guy on a ventilator, man.
Yeah.
And basically, if you know the ventilator thing, most of the people who are older that get on it never
Yeah,
get
you
off.
don't come off it. But
So
yeah, that's the guy who told you don't worry about it. But he had access to like the
paid for by us.
Yeah, paid for by
back
you
to
and me.
old patriots here who pay taxes for shit. I don't give a fuck if that guy lives or dies, but I had to help pay for it.
Hey, he got a treatment that your grandma or your grandpa, your mom or your dad or even you wouldn't have access to.
Not even close.
You would have died.
You would have died.
That guy didn't die, and then he tells you, hey, it's not real, don't worry about it. That's fucking America, man. That's good stuff right there.
Well, the reason I thought of that too is because COVID stuff is going on. It's a year now, pretty much. You know, last year I got laid off in March, but it was in February it started hitting. I remember hitting this gap, and I'm like, we're like, dude, something bad's happening. Like, it's about to get bad. So a year later, people were hitting me up all the time, like, man, I'm really feeling like down. And I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking year, man. Like, this shit is a joke. We just go to work and then whatever. So a lot of people want to do shows and stuff. People hit me up about, I don't know, maybe we'll try to do something. We said we wouldn't, and it's not that we don't want to. It's just our music doesn't carry over the best in that kind of setting. But
No.
at this point, it's like, is it going to be 2 years before we get to play? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be. My vocals would be shitty right now, so
Well,
it wouldn't
I
be
don't
too
know.
good.
I can't wait until we could go to shows again and we could go to see bands that have no original members.
I can't wait to go see a band. Oh, that's a good one. Good way, Steve. That's why we work together. So we were talking about. There's a dude who hit me up about Shattered Realm, the fake. I don't want to say fake. It's just like there's two Shattered Realms. There's two different bands. So the Shattered Realm. If you don't know the band from New Jersey, I don't know, cool band. We were not friends, but we played with them and we did a show with them. You know, there was beefs with some of the dudes, but then we got along. It was cool. I'm a big fan of some of the Shattered Realm stuff from back in the day. Then they split off. There's like the Joe Hardcore from This Is Hardcore. He has his version of the band, which is just him, but he did sing on a record. He was in the band for a while. And it's him and like scab dudes who just play the music, whatever. And then there's the other version of the other guys who actually wrote the music, Joe Nunn. And this kid didn't know that there was two different. He's like, what do you mean there's two Shattered Realms? I go, the one that plays now is Joe Hardcore. The one that's not around is Joe Nunn, the guy who wrote all the songs, the guitar player. He didn't even know that. And that's the thing with a lot of people. They don't understand a lot of bands. It's like seeing a cover band or something,
Yeah.
The dudes they're playing, whatever. I used to get really annoyed with that. Now I'm like, what do I care? Do whatever you want. But it's like Cold as Life or whatever, all this other stuff. Like a lot of these bands, it's not really the guys who did the shit. Not that Cold as Life has their guys back now,
Yeah.
I guess. But
Well, I mean, if they play, yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
like two of the. I mean, most of the guys are dead. The guys died
when we
from the
played
band.
with Cold as Life the last time, it was just the drummer.
Yeah, it was the only original guy was the drummer.
And then it's just random dudes that filled in. But I don't think most people knew that. They had
No.
no idea.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that did it were cool. Like the guy that was the singer, the Jesse guy, he was a nice guy. He's cool.
Yeah.
I still talk to him sometimes. He's a nice fella, man. He's a cool dude. Yeah, but I don't think
They were good too.
I don't really know, especially younger people that saw like that version of the band. I don't think they don't even know that. But here's the thing, I don't think they care. I just don't.
I don't think
that
they care. They
I don't
have
think
no
they care about
clue
those
or
things.
care. It's like the Shattered Realm thing. If you saw the Joe Hardcore version, you liked it. Good for you. Me personally, I'm not. I'm into the Joe Nunn version and the other guys who were in the
Chris
band.
Realm.
Yeah, because I like that stuff better. But to me, it's like at this point, it's like what's people are gonna listen to what they want.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it just does. To me, it just none of it means really very much, anyways, anymore. So what the fuck, man? Like, what does it matter?
Well, it goes back to this: hardcore people, punk people, they act like they're different than their parents, but they're not. They're
No.
the same dudes who'd go see Leonard Skinner with one original member and fucking 20 dudes that are like
Or
30.
they would just pay $20 to see like a Leonard Skinner experience cover band.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. It's no
Hardcore
different.
people always, especially guys like us, because we were never those guys. We were always like, yeah, fuck that, man. We're not going to go support that. You get older, it's not that I'm supporting it. It's just that's just life. Like
Yeah.
playing with Cold as life. It's like I'm not going to be hypocritical. It's like we played with the dudes. They were
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
I'm not going to be like, hey, don't go check that shit out. It's fake.
No.
But you got to remember this in my mind, as far as being a musician, for stuff we've done. It's if you really like a band, you should know who wrote the songs and where they came. Especially street level bands. I mean, if a guy wrote all the stuff, it's his experiences, and you connect with him. Shouldn't you try to figure out who actually did it, not just some guy who's singing the shit or whatever?
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Nothing.
But yes, multiple bands. It's like Fury 5 when they came back, all that kind of stuff. It's like people are like, oh, fuck that. That's not the original dudes. And it's like, well, the original dudes didn't want to do it. I don't know. What are you going to do? At this point, it's like some guy wants to do it and the other guys don't care, then fuck it.
I don't know. Like my favorite experiences were the ones that we experienced for real in the time and the place. Like to me, you can't recreate the time and the place that the band existed and wrote the music.
No.
It can't be recreated. I mean, you could go and pretend, or you could go and have fun at a show and see the music and do things like that. But
people like us aren't really going to see that either. Like I said, we played with certain bands.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see random cover versions of bands. Like I said, I like the original stuff. If the original isn't available, that's fine. I don't want to check it out. But do I say fuck those dudes? No. Whatever good for them. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, do whatever you want to do and see whatever you want to see.
But if people were against it or for it, but that's the thing too. It's like you can't act like that's the real shit. It's not if the dudes didn't write it or whatever, it's just like, it's kind of a cover band in a way.
I'm gonna start a cover band soon. Remember, I said we're gonna do Cro-Mags 2.
Oh,
Actually,
yes.
it would be Cro-Mags 3 because there's 2 versions of the Cro-Mags.
But even the Cro-Mags, like I saw both versions a million times.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody did. And then people would knock other stuff. It's like, that's the same thing, man. The dudes who wrote the songs weren't in the John Joseph version of the Cro-Mags. So, I don't know. It is what it is. The Cold as Life thing always comes up. We talked about this before for the band Cold as Life, because even recently we make the joke because everyone posts Cold as Life stuff all the time, and they act like they're down. So a friend of mine posted the meme. It's like the famous Cold as Life picture where they're like kind of like lower, and then there's all these dudes with pit bulls.
Yeah,
and then there's
classic.
like a guy with glasses sitting at a computer like a kid, and he's like, I totally identify with this. And it's like, but I mean, there's no difference between that and a kid who's sitting in the suburbs who identifies with crazy, gang member rap guys.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Is it funny? Yes. Is it real to them? Yes. Is it real in real life? No. We were talking about some bands that, I guess we're old. The tough guy thing is coming back from the early 2000s, so there's bands like Talking Real Hard, and there always has been, but I guess newer crop of bands coming out. And I don't care. The problem with me with hardcore always has been it was supposed to be reality based. I listen to heavy metal and they sing about whatever. I don't care. Hardcore's supposed to be real, so that would irk me when you're a fucking pussy ass dude and you sing hard lyrics. But I mean, kids, maybe they think that shit's still cool. Maybe the bands are just like, hey, it's just a song. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's always been there. It's always been those types of bands that were just like a phony baloney dude.
Yeah. Well, like I said, is that an accepted thing? I mean, it's been accepted, I guess.
It has
But is
been
it a
accepted
thing
for
where
a
it's
long
like,
time.
should you care? Should you not? Are these dudes just singing a song? Or are they not? Obviously, most of these dudes are not tough. I don't know.
I think that went out the window a long time ago. And the question is, what are you going to do to be tough anymore? Like, what can you really do? I mean,
they don't do. These people do nothing. My thing is, it's the jiu-jitsu thing. I always talk about jiu-jitsu because I train. It's like you can know a lot about stuff. You can talk about a lot of stuff. If you go on the mat and you get your ass beat, you just can't. You can't apply it. So it's the tough guy thing. You can sing tough lyrics and do that. It's like, do you train? Do you work out? Do you do anything? I know a lot of younger dudes, and we have this talk all the time because they're like, oh man, they dress hard and have tattoos. I'm like, if we go outside, I'm almost 40. I will beat the fuck out of you. Like I will knock your fucking head off because I'm ready for that kind of situation. You know, it doesn't mean I'm better than them. It means I'm tougher than them. So, and like even Steve said, what are these guys really going to do? If you're not in a gym, you're not fucking training or working out, I'm not really going to take you serious on the tough guy shit. Sorry.
I mean, the era of just going to shows and brawling with random people
exactly
and things like
doesn't
that,
exist.
It doesn't really exist.
Especially in COVID era.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Most of the shows that younger people are attending and going to today, they're like the thing that's seen for young people is fests. Fests are just like a controlled environment. They're not like it's not like when we used to go to shows, there would be just random people there. There would be an opener band playing with like a Sick of It All or Vision of Disorder or whoever it might be, or Earth Crisis. Dude, there would be openers, local openers in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, wherever you went. They were just like a metal band, a new metal band. And they would sell tickets, and they'd bring their friends.
Yeah.
And these people would be at these shows, and you would have to, like, brawl with these people. You would for real be fighting these people in the venue, in the street, outside of the show. This would happen. This is where we got into the most of our fights that we got into as younger guys.
Yeah, when you're young.
We're because of this environment. We're because of this. That has been taken out of the equation in hardcore world. That doesn't exist anymore, really.
Hardcore and punk music. Punk music's different. Punk music still draws a lot of people if you're a bigger band.
Yeah.
Hardcore doesn't.
Hardcore does not.
So when we would go to shows, of course, like Steve says, old guy talk. I mean, even a Sick of It All. It's like you go to see a Sick of It All, there might be 600 people. I remember seeing Sick of It All. There's like wild hillbilly dudes. Good for them. And it's not bad that they went. But I mean, like sketchy skinhead dudes.
Yeah.
It's like skinhead dudes in the pit with no shirt and just boots. Then like wild hillbilly guy. Then just some college jock guys who maybe they were just deciding to go to a show.
Yeah, because they're
and you're a kid trying to like karate mosh.
Well, Sick of It All was on MTV.
Yes.
So I remember like when albums like Built to Last came out, like if you're watching MTV News, they would have the thing that showed you the new albums that came out that week. They would show that album and like play a clip from it. They would play their videos on Headbangers Ball. They'd play those videos.
Well, you'd see Pantera would have a Sick of It All shirt on or something.
You would have
just
stuff
to
like
talk
that.
about Sick of It All.
So like, or you like Sepultura, you know, those type of things like crossed over, you know, all those bands, Biohazard, all that shit at the time. Biohazard was huge.
And heavier music was much more popular than it is now.
It was. But yeah, you would be in the pit. There'd be like Rob said, there'd be like the skinhead guys. There'd be like weird metal guys. There'd be like a dude there wearing Jenkos.
Oh like, just some dudes
with
like
his head shaved, and he'd have like his hair would be
Juggalo
horns.
type of dudes. Yeah,
that guy would be there in the pit, man, and you would be fighting those guys all the time.
You'd be cool with them. You'd fight. That was real normal.
Yeah, it was, and that element's gone. I don't understand where young people, how they would be able to prove that they're tough, how they would be able to physically fight anybody. I mean, I guess to me that's what happened to us when we were in crews, and then we would just beef all the time with just other crews and our own people in hardcore. Because
but I fought tons of. Here's the thing: I've been in a million fights with people with bars, other crews, whatever. But I'm like the exception. There's only a few guys I really hang out with that were like that really have just like to fight people or whatever. A modern kid, especially in COVID era, and you're putting out hard ass jams like you're killing everyone.
Yeah,
maybe you do. I don't know. I just don't think so because you look weak as fuck. You know, if you look like a weak, and I'm gonna be totally real. It's just I've been around tough ass people my whole life, so it's like you can smell a fucking weak pussy from a mile away. It's not hard to believe. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, it is a weird thing when you sing super hard songs and you never fought nobody. Or never did anything. Never, like I said, even now. So say you're like, okay, well, I go to a gym and I train and I spar. It's like, okay, that's something. I don't think any of these people do that, though. I mean, so it's like, maybe it's just like watching a Rambo movie. You're just like, fuck it. I'm just going to sing wild shit. But because I don't really, you know, it's just like a fan. Like I said, it's even if you watch old stuff about bands, they'd be like, I mean, even Sick of It All, I think. I watched the thing. The guy's like, yeah, bands heavy metal be singing about devils and shit. We wanted to sing about our reality. That's why I liked hardcore. So
I agree.
I mean, the thing with everything is this: they have to make it safe because people just sue everyone. Or
yeah, I agree. To me, the environment's gone. the environment that bred those sorts of things for us,
Yeah.
it doesn't really exist anymore.
I don't
It's
know
just
what
gone.
kind of music you'd have that kind of wildness anymore.
I mean, there isn't much because I mean, everywhere you go, there's the cameras. Everybody's filming everything, posting online, identifying who's
Exactly.
in, doing it. I mean, that for us, that didn't really exist. I mean, for us, you just would do
No.
shit and you would go home and it was just over. And
Even towards the end of our stuff, it was getting where there started to be cameras everywhere and shit. I mean, this is a few years when we were really going to shows all the time. But it's like I can't even imagine the 80s. It was just anything would go.
yeah, anything would go in the 80s.
The 90s, I mean, there was more security, and then now it's like it's just real life too. Because like, if we own a bar, if I own a bar, what am I going to just let people come in there and just annihilate it? I mean, hey, glad you guys had a good time, but I'm just gonna,
Not a
foreclose on
business
my
now.
house. Yeah, fuck this business. It's just not realistic in this modern times.
No, not really.
People
man.
before, when we would go to shows, you got your ass beat. No one cared.
No.
The guy who got his ass beat would be like, "Oh fuck it," he'd just go home. That was it.
Yep, you went home and
He
that
didn't call the
was-
cops.
Yeah,
He wouldn't even tell security, or
Yeah.
security would be like, "Hey, sorry, buddy, go home."
yeah. If security might kick you out or something like that. If
The
they
security
could,
might beat you down.
they did that. Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. With camera phones and shit, it's like, what are you gonna do? So yes, I guess how would you even? Maybe that's it. They have to come up with the. How do you even be tough?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
to
how
write
you,
tough guy songs.
I don't know how you were like the tough guy in 2021. I don't know.
Well, most tough guy songs too, they're about like they're gonna find some dude they have beef with, and they're gonna do something. Did they do it? I don't know.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Probably not.
If they did and they sang about that for real, they'd be famous.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is that band that's out there. That handful of bands, a handful of dudes that are
Yeah.
for real, like still a weird maniac.
That's what I like.
I'm sure that it exists. I'm sure that it's out there.
But
But
they probably aren't good at music. That's it. You got to look for the bands that are real shitty. You're like, those dudes are definitely maniacs because they can't play music for shit.
here's what I think. Here's what I believe. Here's what I wish would happen. In a post-COVID world, when shows return, I wish that hardcore would just become more white trash.
Good.
That's what you need. If you have weird white trash people, this shit, it's kind of like an elitist thing of like yuppie kind of fucking people.
Hardcore, yeah.
You just need straight white trash, weirdo trailer park people involved in this. Then shit would be wild and awesome again. It'd be fucking ridiculous. But people really don't want that. They really don't want that sort of reality. They don't want fucking total weirdos or really violent people around. They want a really safe
No.
thing. They want a thing that is just like a homogenized experience. But people really, they don't want that.
Well,
Over,
hardcore's-
by and large.
It's like if you think about a show, when shows come back, if it's a hardcore show in Cleveland, they're going to have a hardcore band with other hardcore bands that only draw a very small amount of people. So it's like you're not really going to get any wild people because there's no new people who are going to even come. It's the same dudes that show up for everything.
Yeah.
And realistically, too, it's fun to act tough and look tough, but most people don't really want to fight or get into wild shit. They just want that image, which, fuck it. What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else real quick? Because we're going to have to, we got to wrap
gotta
it
go
up.
to work.
Yeah, I got to go to work.
I don't think so, man. Send the questions. We'll have some stuff soon. Like I said, the questions that I've got recently were fucking terrible. So I'm not even going to waste my time with that shit. But, yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for, drop some comments. I don't fucking know. Do whatever, YouTube people do. Whatever they say, that's what I'm saying right now. You figure it out. Comment, whatever. That's all I got for you.
See you next time.